Chairman of the National Book Trust, Dr. Kapil Sibbal, Professor Irfan, Professor Rao, distinguished dignitaries on the dais, distinguished delegates gathered here, students gathered here, members of the differently abled community gathered here, Secretary to the Government of India, Department of Higher Education, officials of the Ministry of Human Resource Development, my friends in the media, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be here today to inaugurate the 19th edition of the New Delhi World Book Fair. And I'm given to understand that this is perhaps the biggest book fair in the Afro-Asian region, drawing exhibitors, publishers, and visitors across the globe. Dr. Kapil Sibbal said that he is not too demanding on me, and that is a very small request to make. I remember the time when I was a student in Delhi University. He was far more demanding than he has been this afternoon. And I thank him for it because he is in a position to be far more demanding than he has been. But he has been kind enough to make a small request. I can only say that we would like, certainly, to have this event as an annual event. I have no doubts about that, but I do believe that this is not the only World Book Fair that takes place in Delhi and in this particular environment. In fact, in the course of the last 1 year, I've had several, and I've been to several World Book Fairs in Delhi itself. I'm very surprised that Professor Irfan has not been, in fact, called to participate in that. And I'm sure in times to come, I'll make sure that his visit to Delhi is not just once, but far more than once, even during 1 year. We've gone far beyond the contours for which we met here today, because we've talked about the Indian education system. And I today understand how I, as Minister in the Government of India, have failed to even convince Professor Irfan as to what is the purpose of abolishing Class 10 boards. And if I can't communicate to Professor Irfan, I think that I have completely failed as a minister. I have to say that it is not, if Dr. Irfan was understood that if Class 10 board is abolished, teachers should not teach and children should not read books, then I can only say that I am very sorry if that's how anybody has interpreted it. And if enlightened people like Professor Irfan have put such an interpretation to it, then I must say that I am sorry I have failed, not he. We have not given up the examination system. Who says we have given up the examination system? In fact, children should be continually examined. That's why we call upon a comprehensive, continuous evaluation by teachers of the quality of their students. This should be a continuous process rather than a one-time examination process, because that's how a teacher gets to know how the child is performing on a continuous basis, on a comprehensive basis. The child's fate should not depend on the result of one examination. It should depend on his continuous performance in the class. And the teacher should be far more integrated to judge the performance of the child instead of letting the child know that you have to read one textbook. I don't care, you have to sit for that exam on that textbook, and when you sit for the exam, we'll see the results. It's just the opposite. The child must go through a continuous, integrated examination process, and the teacher must be far more involved with the child than he has ever been before. That's what we want. We want to spread the breadth of the child's horizon of knowledge. We want to make him read more books, not just the one textbook that he reads. We want him to look outside the walls of the classroom, to move away from textbook knowledge to what the world beyond teaches, and that's what Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru told us. And we are indeed following in the footsteps of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. But we are today here to celebrate books. We are today here to celebrate the fact that India has arrived. In fact, the publishing industry in India is a threshold of a revolution that is going to take place in the years to come. Books in this country are published in 37 languages. In the English language alone, annually, 100,000 books are published. And India is the third largest publisher of English books. And I do believe that the future market for publication and publishing industry is going to be India, especially not just in our own languages, 37 languages, but in the English language as well. And that is why we are here to celebrate an event like this. We will have another forum, we will discuss